Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Y'all know it's your girl Jamaica coming back to you. So I'm on my way to work. I was on my podcast, but I had to stop real quick because I really wanted to record this message so I can, I really wanted to go live. But you got to do what you got to do. So we were talking about your anger language, because everybody has one. How do you respond to anger? How do you control your anger? How do you express your anger? All these different aspects. And there's 5 anger languages. Of course, it's probably more out there, mix and match and different things like that. And I think I can't name all of them, but it's like righteousness, indignations, justification, what it is, the other one where you like they did it, or I'm doing this because they did it, and all this other stuff. And we were talking about how you create your anger language, who demonstrated anger to you. And of course, with most things, especially when you're starting to heal and you're starting to go through this process of understanding yourself and discovering who you are and different aspects of yourself, anger is one. And so of course, when you talk about how were you taught anger, you don't think about the simple fact that some things were specifically set aside for you, and you're taught if you're going to be angry with someone, you need to understand, to watch what you say to them, because you can't take words back, and different things like that. It can be expressed that way. You may have had a parent who really sat down with you and say, hey, this is how things can go, and for you to be, of course, mindful of that, right? And then you also have other individuals like myself, which I had people who expressed certain things to me, just like that who came into my life and was like, hey, when you say these things or whatever else, like be mindful that you're gonna have to live with it. And I taught myself anger a little bit too. I remember I used to lash out a little bit. It happened one time where I had a toy or something in my hand. I was angry and I threw it, and it broke. And I quickly learned I couldn't put it back together. So you don't get angry and ruin your stuff, because guess what? You're gonna have to either pay more money to replace it or to get it fixed, or you won't have it. You're gonna have to then go without. And so that was a learning lesson for myself. And I was young. I was under 8, because I remember different pieces of my life where I was living at that time. And another way or another expression is well, for me, when I was talking about it, I was like, I learned anger and I learned rage and all these different things from my community, of course, just like I learned my love languages and all these other things. But I saw it more so than I was taught to. And I don't want to say more so. One side of my family raised, both sides raised me in a fantabulous way, but I also had other people in my community, and within this community, right, I saw, and within my family, I saw people who would get angry, they would cuss you out, but they wouldn't put your hands on you. I saw anger where they would quickly reprimand you, talk down to you, or even beat you, or the explosive anger, or the eye stares and whatever else. So I saw all these different variations, and it was just going back through some of those things when I was talking about my example. It just helped me to understand how far I've come, because a lot of people are like, you're so calm, because I don't get angry very much, or people think that I'm angry, and that's not how I express anger. It's just me being like, a lot of people are like very sarcastic when they get angry. And I can be sarcastic. Don't get it twisted. I don't want you to think I can't. But typically, I don't care enough, and I don't mean it to be rude, but I don't care enough to think about what it is that other people do and how they respond and what they say and whatever else. For me, it's me being, I want to say, dismissive, but not in the simple fact, because people love to turn those things and make it a negative, but not in the fact of I'm dismissing who you are and how you are and whatever else, because I don't like you, or whatever flavor that could be. For me, it's more so I don't take ownership of your BS. I can't. I'm not willing to. And I am very much so responsible for myself. And if I'm responsible for me and I'm worried about me and what I can and can't do, or what I will and won't do, or whatever have you, if I'm worried about, at the end of the day, myself, and I'm very expressive in that, then I don't have time to concern myself with you, because I can see your strengths. Sometimes I can see your weaknesses, your flaws, and the way that you respond, and it doesn't bother me. It's nothing that I need to intake. But you guys, I got to get back over into this podcast, and also got to go to work. Got a lot of things going on this morning, but I really wanted to make this recording because there's so many other things that I wanted to touch on, and I might come back around to it because I think, remember, I'm going to be doing the Good Girl series, right? Or Death to the Good Girl. And I definitely think some of the anger in the way that the good girls are told that they needed to be perceived by society, and some of the ways that they carry themselves, and the way that they're dismissive about certain aspects of people, the way that they take on other people's burdens, and they become angry because they have to hold on to so much, or they believe that they have to hold on to so much. I think all of these things come into play, and I definitely want to explore that as I continue. So again, if you haven't already, please make sure you click above and subscribe to the channel. Down below, comment like, what is your anger type? What were you taught about anger? And just comments, like, share the post out, because I definitely want to make this a conversation, because we have to be in a place. Well, you don't have to do anything, but I'm a believer that I definitely need to know who I am. I need to be able to be very expressive in my being. And I want other people to have that same freedom and that same right, and feel that they can be their very best version of themselves, however that is that they need to show up, and show up in their most authentic light. And sometimes people feel that they have to hide different portions of them, and it's different between being private and hiding. So that's definitely going to be a conversation as well. But I just really am a person who's here, who I believe a part of my plight on this earth is to help people with these mental shackles that they have on, to help them relieve themselves from these broken belief systems and traditions that they've built, and find themselves surviving in, and get away from them so that they can thrive. But you guys, again, like, share, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell so you can be notified when new videos like this come out. I gotta go to work, but I love y'all. Bye.